Political socialization is the topic we'll look at. The process in which we teach and learn our political knowledge, beliefs, attitudes, values, and behaviors. And we pass this to the next generation. For example, this can explain why in Texas we are mostly conservative. It's passed down from one generation to the next. The question is, when did you start learning about public policy, political science, and politics? The truth is, it's not when you entered a classroom. You started learning it subconsciously from the time you were a child at the dinner table, listening to your guardians, maybe to an uncle, maybe to a parent, or somebody older that you valued their opinion, and that influenced you. And so we've learned politics and political knowledge from the time we were young, and we will continue to learn for the rest of our lives. Now, the aim of political socialization is that to move you towards a particular belief or stance, right? And we have agents that politically socialize us. Whether you're talking about experiential relevant sources, that's family, your peers, your church or religious organization, emotive sources or emotive agents, right? We're talking about media, art, music, and today it's really powerful with the fact that we have these computers in our hands called phones. And then logic and empiricism, those agents like schools, professors, investigative journalism, right? Who give us ways to think about politics in interesting and creative ways. Now, a few terms that we can take in. Number one, political culture. Broadly held values and beliefs about government. So the political culture, for example, in Texas would be conservative, reactionary. The political culture in maybe California may be liberal, progressive. All right, so they can have different ideologies based on the political culture of a place. Political efficacy, the feeling or the belief that the people feel they still have control of their government. So when political efficacy is low, people no longer see their governments as legitimate. While if people feel they have political efficacy, they feel they have more say and continue to follow the government. Political knowledge, what I talked about, the accumulation of information and experience about the political process in your various country, in your state, right? So those are a few terms when you come to political socialization. Another term is public opinion. I think you've heard this before, right? These are opinions held by general citizens that we can collect through polling, right? We can hold surveys and we can try to see what are the political beliefs in, for example, this campus and in a spectrum of political ideology, right? And all of this, of course, sometimes is done by the political parties that we talked about when we were talking about political parties as organizations. Now, political socialization has to do with ideology, right? Ideology. Ideas are powerful. Ideas are the axioms or the atoms of law. You take axioms, they give us principles. These principles create laws. These laws lead to institutions. All men are created equal, or there's a creator. All men are created equal. The principle of civil rights, the laws, Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act, the institutions that come about to protect those, right? And so you have these different things. So ideas are powerful, right? They're the bedrock of our ideas, of our beliefs and our values. And really we're talking about how should government play a role in the economy, society, morality, right? And so ideology is at the center of political socialization. In America, we have really we talk about two dominant systems. One on the right with the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And there are a whole bunch of isms there, right? Let's start with liberal, reactionary, right? You have conservative, you have conservative, liberal, right? And then you have radical on the left. Well, let's start that over again, all right? In America, we have a spectrum where we have the left wing with the Democratic Party and the right wing with the Republican Party in today's America, right? In the right, we have conservatism and we have reactionary. On the left, we have liberal and radical, right? And so you can find yourself within this spectrum. All right, and as we can see that, we can see conservative, which means maintain the status quo, reactionary, which is let's go back to the to an earlier thing, make America great again, right? You keep on going, you'll go to a social Darwinism, and you can go as far as fascism and the creation of Nazism. On the left, you can start with the liberal, incremental change. You can go towards radical, where you can find democratic socialist. But you can take a step even further to the left, where you go to social Marxism that will eventually lead you into communism, right? So there's a broad spectrum of political ideology. And it can deal with economic issues, laissez-faire open economies or controlled economies. Social issues, should government play a role in solving complex social problems? Whether you're talking about school desegregation, health issues, moral issues, should government have a role in morality and governing the morality of the people? And on civil liberty issues, how intrusive should government be in Americans' lives? Now, conservatives are somewhat opposite of liberals. In this sense, government, limited government in economy, limited government in social matters, but at the local levels, state levels, government participates in morality, all right? Liberal government in economy and solving social issues, but out of morality at the state level. Libertarians are a little bit different. They want limited government at all levels. That's the word liberty, libertarian, right? Whether moral, whether social, whether economic. Then populists are new. Populism is more of a movement, right? It's a movement of the people where the people are to rise against a particular elite who are repressing them politically or economically. So the last time we saw populism, just to get into populism a little bit, because it's making its way back in American politics, was the Gilded Age, the second industrial revolution. We're talking about from 1870s, remember the 1877 election? So it was a time of corruption, major economic differences, right, in terms of social classes, economic classes. And you had new inventions in electricity and in metals. And so a lot of things are happening at the time. And so some people feel repressed, right? And so you have this economic movement where the labor class want greater protections. And so you have like the Haymarket Square riot in 1886. You have the Populist Party of America, People's Populist Party in Texas in 1890, where farmers and those who are grangers feel like they need greater protections. And so this is a movement of the people from the ground up. They look for a person or a group to kind of take over some elite interests that they feel are repressing them. In this case, maybe an economic 1%. And then we see populism rise back again. Earlier, we saw the Democratic Socialist of America following Bernie Sanders. And we saw the Populists of America following Bernie Sanders in the sense that they felt there was most of the wealth in America is controlled by the 1%, and the money is not being redistributed, and Americans are having a hard time paying for things and just having livelihood. And so you have this pushback by the people, and they want this particular person and group to go into Congress and make all the changes that are necessary. The other one is a political movement with Drain the Swamp that eventually led Donald Trump into presidency. The idea that Donald Trump is not really going in there to be a Republican, he's going there to sweep both Republicans and Democrats who are not acting in the interest of what this group feels like in terms of political efficacy, the control of government by the people, all right? And so when it comes to political socialization, ideology matters, interests matter, right? And I also say that perception and inclusion also matters, right? People tend to go to where they feel included. And also perception. It's not always true that somebody is being represented, but if they perceive a particular party is representing their interests, they're more likely to align with that interest. And so historically in America, the Republican Party has been seen as a grand old party, closed in only white America. And so sometimes people have walked away and some people have joined on that perception, right? Whether true or not. While the Democratic Party sometimes is seen as the open party, the party of all. And so they've easily been able to get votes in that regard. But we've seen that being challenged. For example, we saw a lot of minorities voting in the first time for Trump in his first term, even in the second term, right? So maybe those trends might also change, or they might revert back to what was. And so that is political socialization, the process in which we learn and we teach for the aim of moving people towards a particular ideology in order to support a particular party and interest.